Checking the thingies.
Oh, I just heard me do that la da 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 da.
Okay,
So
cool.
I'm
Alright.
working.
Hello, guys, gals, and non-binary pals, and welcome to episode 12. I feel like we've done more than 12 of Mike's campaign of awesome slash Sugoi sauce. With us, as always, are our. Let's actually go to the Streamlabs so I introduce you people in the right order. Gnome Chinkerer, aka Jim Babbage Charles, our
How's it going?
Furblog Druid, Jeff, aka Hugh. Do we say it with an H now? Hugh, maybe just you. Our
Hey,
High Elf Monk, Candidate Jack.
Wait. If we do that, I need a good last name, like Grant.
Hugh. Hugh. I'll let you.
Carrie.
It's your character. You do what you want. Our High Elf Monk, Candidate in Stormblessed, aka Zach, and then the Deacon, the Knowledge Cleric, Blessed Robert the Great Bellarmine, who is currently wonderfully in character, wearing his chainmail of sorts. So, when we last were with our intrepid heroes, well, I guess we can call them heroes.
Hero.
They had successfully rescued, if you want to call it that, River from the bandits. They came across a blood mage who saw through their ruse of a manufactured blade. They tried to give away a fake one, but unfortunately she noticed the what's the word counterfeit or not so perfect copy. They were locked in a cage and then let go. After they had successfully gotten out of the Iron Outpost and gotten the magical, not so happy sword away from a blade golem, they chose not to fight. In the process of getting out of the cage and walking back to town, River was nice enough to hand them a beat-up journal, which the characters or the players have all read in the interim because I don't want to have them read 7 pages of text on a video. And for the purposes of plot, we're going to say that basically everybody is back in harm's way.
Oh no.
So that we are. Hold on. I'm going to move everybody back out to the corner here. River's with you all, but it is. I mean, you had your little encounter at the desert fort here in the evening time. To quickly summarize of the journal that everybody saw. Essentially, it's a record of what happened, at least from 3 different perspectives, of basically how things in the island that is the Crescent Isle went and got crazy. Essentially dictating the story of what was that, how at least how some craziness started in Stone Grove here in the bottom right corner of the map, how they survived in Strongmont for a couple of months and then discovered through some clever magicry that with the use of a magical item can create a mythal, which is like a big magical aura that can cancel out certain kinds of magic, in this case undead. So mythals were created basically in places that the characters have figured out from the journals. One of which appears to have been undone by removing the sword from the Iron Outpost that they handed off. The journal hints at other mythals created in the mine, in Deadwatch, and possibly in Strongmont. And then it all tells the story of a gnome wizard named Ella who's basically trying to stop all the craziness that caused the island to float in the first place. So, with that, we return to our heroes, having returned to River, or at least coming just back into town with River in tow, into harm's way. And with that, I turn it over to the players. I'm going to find a copy of River's token, and then we'll be off and running.
All right.
Well, shouldn't we take River and the journal to Congdon and see what he can make of it?
I do believe Cognan should probably take a look at this. I could use another break, a rest, so to speak.
I'm with you.
I believe we all could.
We just keep leaving town and getting our butts whipped. I don't want to leave anymore.
Who wants to make himself at home?
And didn't it say that in order to create a mythal or to use a mythal, somebody has to be sacrificed? So we got to be careful about that.
That was to create one. Is that correct?
Hmm.
Hmm.
So let's see. Hold on.
Let's not try to do that.
Yeah, I don't know that we want to create any mythals.
Oh no, I was in the description.
Nor do I
If any one of
believe
you guys want
really
to
need to do
volunteer?
So creation of mythals sometimes requires the willing sacrifice of a lead caster's life, not always. Is just as part of the knowledge that you would have, or at least some of you would have, about how mythals work. Not always.
Noted.
Let's take River in the journal to Cogden.
That's a good plan. Let's get her back and then get some rest.
All right. For simplicity's sake, we're simply just going to move everybody over.
I'm only supposed to be.
Who just disappeared?
Cognan was on the. You're all. Hold on a second. You've all entered. No, I didn't realize you're all in the basement. Hold on. We're going to move you all up into the kitchen entrance. Because that's where everybody actually walks in.
Sorry, I had to get out of my contents. Much better.
All good. All right. So, as a friendly reminder, you had this encounter at dusk, and it took you a little while to get back. So it's about. I mean, it's been a couple hours after evening time. I mean, the two
9, 10 o'clock.
Yeah, roughly. I mean, the two guards that let you in were very happy to see you. That let you into the northern gate, and sort of whistled you in and sort of ushered you straight in. But yeah, you're coming in pretty late into the evening, and as you recall, Cognan was also sort of super excited after researching that gate that you had discovered to basically get back here. So you don't know how long he's been awake for.
Okay. Who has the journal still? Is it River?
I'm gonna say the knowledge cleric has it.
Okay.
So.
All right. Well, Bellarmine, I think you should get that journal to Cognan, and as soon as he's available, I, for one, am gonna go to sleep in the basement in my stuff.
Yeah, I'm happy to give it to him, and then I'm going to head up to the library and go to sleep on the couch. And where's River?
You guys realize we have beds back at the inn, right?
I'm really comfortable in my things.
I'm gonna go plop back down on the couch, right by the fire pit, and I'm gonna make a nice cozy fire.
And
Suit yourself.
where's Cogden and River?
River sort of is just grateful to be home and sort of just says, "Thank you all again. I know I've said thank you like a lot of times, but it's been utterly exhausting. I'm going to bed." And she just basically walks down the stairs one floor and then draws. You know what? I'm gonna add. Well, and I'll do with that later. And then basically just like plops into her bed and collapses. Babbage moves all the way down the 3 flights of stairs. Cuddles actually seems really, really agitated and excited. To the point, River actually goes downstairs briefly, pets her. Cuddles seems really, really happy if anybody actually witnesses this. And then she collapses and goes back downstairs, and Cuddles then relaxes and seems to.
So before Babbage goes, oh no, yeah, I guess before you guys go downstairs, I just say, can you come get me before we do anything? I'm gonna go rest at the inn.
Okay, let's see at the end. All right.
And
Hold on.
I take off and I go to the inn.
Okay.
You said it's in the middle of the night, right? So nobody's awake, right?
Yeah, nobody's awake. I mean, yeah, Dolan's not actually there.
All right, and I do my 4 hours.
All right, you are in the inn, yes?
Yes.
Cool. We've learned how to split the party, everybody. We're fancy at this now. Okay, so you is back on his couch. Babbage is in his stuff. All right, Bellarmine, you went into the library and just you're taking a sleep on your couch or your
Yeah,
that same bed.
You got it.
Okay.
You got it.
So yeah, Zach, you don't see anybody like sort of on the streets. I mean, you see like one or two people walking around that sort of wave to you and smile. People you don't necessarily recognize.
I
But
just don't care, and I keep walking.
okay, so yeah, you make it into the
Yeah.
bed. Yeah, you make it into the. Actually, when you get there, I take that back. We're gonna move over to. Everybody else.
Actually, before I fall asleep, I look around on the floor for any missing pages that might have been in the journal.
You find none.
Well, gotta look.
Let's see. We're 9. Here we go. All right, so actually, you, Zach. Where's your? So as you walk in, I take that back. It's not the middle of the night. It's fairly late. So you see. Here we go. Why do I have two? Okay. Let me put another mine. All right, so you see Lyko, this character who you haven't met yet, and then Ju Lee is sitting at the table, and Dolan. They're all just basically making conversation. And as you walk in, you are muted, by the way. Dolan and Lyko kind of turn and give you a greet like, "You're back."
We're back.
Was it
Saved River.
River's home? Hooray!
Home.
And there's
Huzzah.
rouses around the bar. The elf lady. It's kind of subdued, but seems happy. Julie's sort of just, oh, what a lovely thing! That's fantastic. She actually comes over to hug you.
I stand stiffly. Around
She
my sides.
I mean, she's all furry. I mean, she's basically a big red panda, right? So she comes up and like gives you a really, really big hug, but it only comes up to like, I mean, her head comes up to your mid chest level essentially. Yeah, you're patting her on the head.
Yeah.
Extraordinarily grateful.
Awkwardly.
Can I buy you a drink? Ha 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 ha. As a way of celebration. And where are the rest of your friends?
They were all crashing over at Cogman's place. What time did you say it was, Mike?
Around like
late,
10, 30, 11.
Oh, okay. And I'm actually in pretty decent shape. Like I would be like super exhausted.
Lyko slides over, offers you a stool.
Why not? It's been a day.
Dolan, having heard all this conversation, just has has a mug of mead like sitting in front of you and waiting for you. Then he kind of looks at you and asks, like, "Should I be pouring more for your friends? Will they be coming to their rooms?"
Look back at the door. Look back at him.
Ah.
Oh.
Very well. So River's all right then. There was no. She was unscathed and relatively. You had to just.
Relatively speaking, she was held by a lady.
And now your audio's cutting out.
She was held. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Kind of.
You see, maybe I can.
Jumping in and out.
Yeah.
Check. Is that a little better?
Yep.
So far, yes.
All right, let's try that.
Cool.
Yeah, she was held by a not so nice lady, but
At that,
She
Dolan.
captured us.
At that, Dolan kind of just stops. Like he looked like he was actually like cleaning a mug in the back. He like stops, like mid cleaning. He was like, "Can you describe this woman?"
I do so. But I kind of like look at him like, what are you getting at? Like you
You said red.
Yeah, well, you know her?
No, we were just. He shakes it off. He was like, "No, I was thinking it might have been somebody else, but no, but not somebody in red." He
And
kind of goes back.
I try to get a good idea, kind of get a good sense at what he's at there.
Am
I very insightful at all?
you can make an insight roll. Go ahead. Make an insight check.
I guess I'm kind of tired.
Yeah, so You get the sense that he really, yeah, no, your sense is that he really was just like, oh, I guess he just was expecting somebody else and don't really think much of it. And you don't notice anything else from the rest of the people at the bar or think anything of it. Lyko gives you like a huge pat on the back and is like, so you must have been in some fantastic battles while you were gone.
I mean, we fought a whole bunch of swords, but then just ended up getting away.
You fought.
Yeah, it was
Like,
this whole whirling dervish of swords.
I, what? Where was this?
Back over at what's the place called?
Iron Outpost.
Over at the Iron Outpost there.
No wonder nobody goes whirling dervishes of swords. That doesn't makes
If
you
it
wonder
was,
what. I'm so,
yeah, it turns out you could just walk away from it.
I I must. I see myself as having a worthy challenge in the near future. I might have to go adventuring into the Iron Outpost. Dolan and both Julie kind of like walks up and attempts to like smack him upside the head, but he's a little too tall at the moment, so he just like pokes him, like you will do no such thing. And this,
I'll look at Julie and be like, "Don't let him go over there. He's not gonna like it."
I will not. Um. So yeah. So at this point, the night just sort of. At this point, it's just small talk. They basically just continue to prod you for questions about like what actually happened. I don't know if you want to keep. We can keep poking at this, or we can just move on to the morning. I'll let you choose.
Yeah, I'll just tell him that I'm kind of tired, guys. I'm gonna enjoy my mead and then go down.
Very good.
We can chat about it in the morning.
Gotcha.
Thanks for the drink.
All right. Da-da-da-da. 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh. All right. We're back to you, Zach. First, well, actually, no. Let's do. I take that back. We'll do. There we go. Babbage. Morning arrives.
Oh wait. I didn't know we were going through the morning.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you have something to do through the night?
Yeah, you hadn't asked me if I was going to sleep.
Oh, I apologize. I thought you said you were going to sleep in your stuff. I misunderstood you.
That's all good. So what I was gonna do when I arrived in my stuff
Yes.
is I was going to spend some time creating my dingbot, and then I was gonna have it continue to craft while I was sleeping.
Oh, very good. All right. Describe this
make
dingbot for the group.
So my dingbot is basically the equivalent of a familiar, but instead of it being a small beast like a ferret or a cat, it's this little robot. I actually did provide to you, Mike, in the Merwin the DM chat, a token for dingbots.
Oh.
If
I
you
love
want
the
to
name, by the way.
throw that on there. No, I didn't come up with that. That's in the it's in the class. I can't take credit for dingbot.
In the Merwin the
But in any case, it's this little round, little spherical robot with spindly arms and legs. Kind of looks like a robot you might see out of the Jetsons. It's got like one big sensory eye in the middle. Excuse me. And it, for all intents and purposes, functions like the Find Familiar spell. And I can also, it crafts at the same rate that I do. So if I'm crafting with it, I can double my crafting rate, which is really nice. But essentially, overnight while I'm sleeping, I want it to craft up for me the maximum number I can hold of flame affect engines, and I have to look up what that number is because it changes.
Gotcha.
Forget. Do we level up? And if so, what level are we at right now?
7.
Okay,
And
we are at that. So I did already. All right, good. Thank you.
The answer is 2.
Stand by while I get your token up and running.
And Mike,
So
when
now
you get
it's just with me and lasts forever. I can't find how many hit points it has though, because usually you summon a beast and the beasts have hit points in the book. You like depending on the beast you summon.
Right.
I don't know what the dingbot's equivalent would be in terms of stats. You'll have to DM that for me.
Okay. Let's see.
Mike, when you get to me, I want to start with an immediate but purely RP retcon for what I did.
All right. All right, you should be able to control that now, Jim.
Appreciate it.
Make sure. Yep. Okay. All right. So your dingbot's crafted. You have a critter running around. I have to remember to add him to all the other maps, and that's okay. What is your purely?
If you wouldn't mind, well, I guess I don't really need to see the map. So instead of immediately entering the tower and traipsing downstairs to make myself at home, now that I, not you, finally truly understand how druids cast spells and commune with the divine to receive them. Oh, that's very helpful, though. I will. Well, first of all, what can I see the night sky? Is the moon in the sky? Is it particularly bright, full, or dark and waning?
I really
Darker
need
and
to get
waning.
Jim's like keeping track of weather thing. I'm gonna say it's a waxing gibbous.
So
And
fairly bright.
it is a clear night sky. You can see the scars. It is a waxing gibbous.
Okay. Then I'm gonna go just outside, like just beyond the map, up this way, just a little away from the lights. And I'm looking for, a nearby clearing in the trees or anywhere where I get a pretty good line of sight on as much of the sky as possible without, gallivanting across the landscape for an hour, if that makes sense.
Hold on. Well, you end up here.
Sure. Then I will, maybe right around here with my back towards any light sources.
Okay.
I'm going to actually right here. I'm going to sit down on the grass, cross-legged, quasi Native American communing with nature sort of stance persona. And this is when, before I sleep, I will actually consult the stars, look at the constellations, take out my star map,
Okay.
and use my insight and recollection of what we just went through, how I felt unprepared with you felt unprepared with the array of spells that he had. So now that I understand how to actually use a prepared spell list and that I can basically take any druid spell and add it to it, which is amazing as long as I prepare it ahead of time. I've already prepared those spells. So if you look at my spell sheet, you will see, besides the cantrips, anything with a red dot next to it is something that is either not prepared or I don't really need to have it prepared. For instance, Detect Magic, Disguise Self, Guiding Bolt. Those are all class features that are
okay.
automatically granted. Call Lightning is not prepared right now.
Okay.
Yu's really starting to understand his role is not to damage so much or worry about being primary DPS, if you will, but to hinder and to use nature to affect the outcome. So, yeah,
Nice.
looking at the stars, looking at everything that just happened, really not liking the fact that we so easily walked into an impenetrable cage and had to give up the weapon or else. Not that Yu has any particular attachment to the weapon, but he knows he should not have that weapon. And yeah, look at the stars for a little bit, look at my star map, just kind of breathe in the air, get a little taste of being at home, which is in the middle of completely wild virgin forest. And once I feel good and prepared, because I think I actually have to.
I mean, you can roll. You can roll for what is it? Woe and the other one.
Good call. And then
We'll do that now. Know which one you're set to.
this is right from the PHB, so.
Oh yeah. Just swapping them out. That's fine.
That much time, basically, and
Sure.
so. Whoa, wheel. I need to look.
Wheel. That's the other one.
Wheel. Oh, very nice. It is a lot of fun to debuff, but I think wheel probably helps us out more on average.
Okay.
And having done all that, I will then go make myself at home
Okay.
with a nice cozy fire.
So you're going back to the. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Since everybody else has had a chance, Mr. Sylvia, do you want an opportunity to do something before you hit the sack, or are you simply sleeping the night away?
No, I just send my retainers to the door to guard them. They're going to sleep in front of the door, all three of them.
Retainers.
Oh, and then as I'm laying down for the night, I say, "Good night, cabbage barley."
Random.
Think about it.
I got it.
I know you did.
I'm
All
slow.
right.
Mr. Sylvia, you've confused me. Your retainers?
Yeah, I have 3 retainers.
The party?
So, because of his knight background, there are 3 retainers that are loyal to his family, but I would assume they're back home somewhere, as
Yeah,
they weren't on
they're
the
not.
airship this whole time.
Yeah, they haven't been running around following us this entire time.
I
Yes.
just summoned them.
But, it'll take them some time to get here. I'm not sure.
I just realized there was retainers. I figured I'd call them in the
Fair
middle.
enough. All right. Okay. So nothing else, Bellarmine the Great.
I don't think there's anything
Okay.
that I can do at the moment other than sleep.
Fair enough. All right. Morning arrives, Canadin. You find yourself fully rested, just as a little bit past dawn.
So I probably would have gotten up earlier. I only need 4 hours,
Okay.
so it would have been.
Oh, all right. So you're up.
you know,
You're
so
up
if I
before
was-
twilight.
Yes, exactly. I'm up pretty well early, and I will head back to Cogman's place, and I imagine. So I guess it'll be probably 4 hours later. So was that like 2 a.m.?
Roughly.
Yeah. So I'm probably not going to run into too many people. Do I?
No,
Is there
no, it
anybody
is.
left at the spade?
It is very quiet. Oh, I can't just. I'm sorry. Let's do that. All right.
Okay. Yeah. Then I very quietly enter back into Cogman's place.
Okay.
And take my seat. Same place that I was at.
Oh, you're going
before.
downstairs. Okay.
Yep, downstairs.
Got it.
And I, quietly tend the fire and just wait for the first person to start to rouse.
And what time is it?
At the moment, it's 2 in the morning.
I'm still asleep.
Yeah, everybody else is still out. Although I will, Kaden, as you're walking down the stairs, you do hear like a mechanical commotion coming from the basement storage unit.
Oh yeah. So I would definitely explore what that is. Like, what is that racket?
So you walk in, Babbage. I think you're in a hammock. Is that accurate?
No, I created a bed.
Oh, that's right. You made a bed.
Yeah.
So Babbage is soundly asleep, but this mechanical contraption that you have never seen before is actively clearly crafting something. Like it's got. You've seen these like flame-related machinery things that Babbage has made before. One of them sitting basically on the ground next to the bed that Babbage, and you hear Babbage. I don't know, Babbage. Do you snore? I'm assuming you snore. I will let your character determine.
On a 1, 2, or 3, I snore. I'm not snoring.
You're not snoring. Okay, so Babbage is sleeping soundly on his side, but this little machine is like off in the corner, basically like crafting. It's moving at a somewhat slow pace, but you haven't seen it before. But it's clearly like trying to build something.
Am I threatened by it in any way? Probably not. I mean,
It doesn't even notice you're there. Or it doesn't seem
Okay,
to. It's just it seems to completely ignore your presence. It's just building. It seems to be slowly putting pieces and parts together and somehow assembling them in a way that, and then like you see like it click and like a little spark comes out of its hand and like puts it inside something, and you see like a small little flame appear, but then that seems to go out, but it's still like it's just grabbing parts and things and putting them together.
It's also just for mechanicals purposes. It's size tiny, so it's little. It's a little thing.
Like that.
Okay.
I guess I would look at it and I would see that like you're soundly asleep and it's not harming you and it's building the thing that I know that you make. So like, I'll probably just make the assumption that you made this thing. So, okay. And I just go back and I sit in my chair, but definitely keep an eye out for it. Like, be a little bit wary, but for the most part, I'm just tending the fire.
Okay. So, several more hours pass uneventfully. I mean, you hear the thing making small amounts of noise throughout the night, or throughout the morning, I guess, there, Kana did. But Babbage, you rouse slowly to see Does your dingbot have a name?
I'm thinking about that. I've never had one before. It just kind of came to me that I could make such a thing.
Okay.
So I'm for now, I'll just call it him. Just for now. I'll come up with a better name later. I'll ponder that throughout the rest of the adventure.
All right.
It'd also be fun because now you and him both refer to other people.
You awaken to have to like you kind of roll over and sort of start to stretch, only to realize that like your little robot is right next to your face.
Yes. Oh, I'm so happy that you're DMing his personality.
And it's just sort of like it's just one giant eye that's blinking at you.
Morning, him. How'd we do? I'm gonna inspect the flame affect engines that you created for me.
It like hops like as soon as you start to rouse, it like hops over, like wobbles over to your affect engine, and it's just like.
Have you guys ever seen the movie Batteries Not Included?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's kind of like the personality that I'm
so
I'm
excited.
picturing.
Yeah, so I'll take a peek at them. I assume they're fine.
Yes, they're fine.
So I will
a little. I mean, not to the precision that you have, but like they're clearly functional.
Well, it should actually be exactly the precision I have because the rules state it crafts at the same rate as me, so it should be equal to my crafting capabilities.
Well, rate and quality are two different things, but all right, fair.
Okay, no, I guess that's true.
I mean, like I'm saying, like if your crafting is like an A+, this thing made like an A- thing essentially.
I'm gonna say that. Not bad. I give it an A-, and I'll tap it. I'll pat its little antenna.
So at first it's like it pats it. It hops up.
First rule of tinkering: there's always room for improvement.
At that, it like salutes you.
Yes.
How is it powered?
Through friendship.
Oh, no.
Magic and friendship.
Magic and friendship.
As it turns out, friendship is magic.
That's phenomenal. I think the answer is this, not what you had.
Oh.
For its HP value, I believe that is what a weasel has.
I just realized I have been not streaming this properly.
Oh no.
I definitely had like my Discord text up instead of the video on that for a while. Oops. Sorry, stream.
What
It's
have
gonna
you
be a little
done?
awkward. That's all right.
You've ruined 0 people's experience.
Mine in the future when I go back to review this later to see what the heck I said. Okay. So that's happening. Well, that's happening.
Game really wants you to focus on me.
Yeah, apparently. Why can't I think? Okay.
that's me.
You.
I thought sure he was going to name him Despicable, but all right.
You are roused by the sound of Babbage complimenting its, well, talking to something in the basement storage unit.
Who is?
Do I feel well rested, or is this in
Yes.
the middle?
No. It's morning. You feel well rested, and you see Canadian is also. I mean, Canadian, you hear all this when you're awake. You're just sort of sitting there. You notice he is rousing now.
Yeah, once he starts talking to the thing, I'm like, yeah, I figured.
K9, how are you?
More than you.
Don't fight it, Mike. Oh, this will be you's new home. The stars were very clear last night.
And Bellarmine has roused himself and has come downstairs.
You can have the room. I don't
I
want
want
to share
coffee.
Okay. You see, I mean, there's 4 flasks in front of you.
And what's the difference in the?
At the moment, they're the colors you see. There's a blue one, a red one, a green one, and a yellow one.
Yeah, I'll take the blue one.
Hold on.
Don't drop it.
Oh, let's see. This will be fun. Okay, so what are you doing with the blue one?
I'm looking around to see if I can figure out what's in it.
It is not labeled. And it
labeled.
appears to be just like normal fluid. Like it looks like clear blue water as far as you can tell.
Is Cogden around?
No.
Huh.
You came
Yeah.
downstairs to the library and he wasn't in the. You passed.
Yeah.
Everybody else was asleep. River was still passed out in her bed. You went through the lab, kitchen. Nobody was there.
After previous experiences with Cogden's juices, I think I'll put it back down and go to the inn and get some coffee.
Okay. I mean, I guess all of you notice Bellarmine come downstairs, take one look at this blue flask, and then leave.
I don't know where to go from here, but you know.
Fair enough. I will. Let's see. We can move you. I mean, we can move you out into the map in the meantime.
Look at you, shrug. Go back to like.
Yeah, where's the inn from here?
The inn is number 9, so you can slowly move your token over there if you'd like.
I can't read the numbers for the life of me, but we'll try that. Is that 9?
Oh, it's the one. Yes, it is. So okay,
Yeah.
pretty straightforward.
I don't know where the door is, but that's good.
Fair enough. As you're walking around to it, you get a couple of passerbys that sort of wave to you and are grateful to say like, "Oh, I guess you made it back. Congratulations. I guess River's
Thank
good."
you. Thank you. Coffee. I want coffee.
Oh, yeah. They point you to the singing spade. And
I'm useless without my coffee.
we will move you there for now.
Mike,
Okay.
when you have a moment,
Yes.
do you have any resources on what the stats would be for a Fae that was summoned via a summon familiar spell? So the Fae is more flavor than anything, but it's actually something I just realized would be very useful.
I'm gonna send you something, Jeff.
Perfect.
I was just looking this up myself.
Thank you.
If you could also send it to me for reference.
So it's
Oh, that's not what I wanted to send you. I'm sorry.
It's an optional class feature, Mike, but basically instead of having my charges only going to wild shape and transforming myself, I can use those charges instead to cast Find Familiar. And
have a pet.
When you cast the spell in this way, the familiar is a Fae instead of a beast. And the familiar disappears after a number of hours, equal to half your druid level. So that I think suits, yeah. I want to incorporate that next time we need to. And you sent that in Discord?
Yeah, but that's not. I sent you the wrong thing. I'll get you what I meant to send to you in a second.
Gotcha.
Huh.
I guess what I'm asking is, A, what are my options? Like, is a Fae means more than one Fae?
I mean, I would just go off of the listed options that you have in the Find Familiar spell. And just flavor it in some way, shape, or form. So pick one that fits you and then flavor it accordingly. I mean, like, you could, I don't know, turn the fairy dragon into I don't know. Well, I mean, a fairy dragon actually kind of works as
that's totally fine. I guess what I'm asking is what would be the combat stats for them? Is that something I can look up?
All the familiar beasts have 1 health, but they do have different stats, and you can look up. So that's what
they're
I
in the
just
back of
did,
the they're in the
literally.
back of the player's handbook, and you can also just look it up on the Google.
Yeah, you can find them in Roll20. So if you go to the Find Familiar spell, it'll give you that list: bat, cat, crab, frog, etc., etc.
Yeah.
And if you
Mhm.
look in Roll20 for hawk or frog, they have stats. You can look them up.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Oh, right, because Find Familiar
The
is
only
different
difference is that they have 1 HP versus
No,
whatever the actual animal is.
it literally states a hawk, unrelated to familiar. A hawk has 13 AC, 1 health, a 10-foot speed with a 60-foot fly speed. Like all the stats are there.
Technically
So,
1d4 minus 1, but you would have to roll a 4 to have 2 hit points. So
Okay.
You have to roll a
effectively,
4 to have 3 hit points.
excuse me, what? So you'd have to roll a 4 or a 3. So
Yeah,
1, 1,
you
or
either
2,
have
2.
1, 1, 2, or 3. So the average is 1.
Well, no, the average would be 2, wouldn't it?
1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3 divided by 4 is less than 2.
Rounding is fun. Anyway.
Oh, it's because it's not 1, 2, 3. It's 1, 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Yeah.
Math. Okay. So Jeff,
That's
you can
dumb. Why would
just
they? Yeah. Why would it even list a roll like that? Silly.
okay. All right. I'm trying to think of this. So okay, no, what we had never gotten past the fact that all right, what do you're waking up?
Yes. So I say the same thing. Good morning, K9.
Okay.
Yep.
Um.
And get up, stretch, start. We don't have any rations on us, right? I guess I'll head upstairs to the table where I made breakfast or dinner earlier and just repeat the same premises. Anything that.
Okay. All right. Hold that thought. We're gonna go over to the singing spade. Let's see. Where's Mr. Sylvia? You find yourself walking into a somewhat quiet tavern. Dolan is dutifully at the bar.
I go next to the edge there and I say, "Any coffee?"
Ah, yes. One moment. Happy to see you are alive and well. He goes back.
Thank you.
Grabs a tea kettle he's got on the stove in the back there. Pours you a cup, or I guess grabs some grinds. Pours it in the or yeah, pours it through the filter that he has. Um, and puts the mug on the counter for you. Anything we can
And
happily do for people who have saved River.
now, what about the cost for the coffee?
Oh no, you are. Normally, I would agree that entertainment is the coin of the realm, but I think in this case we can make an exception considering what you have done for us and ours here in harm's way.
How about a blessing?
Um, I don't give out blessings.
No, no, I do.
Oh, that would be very kind of you.
So I give the guy a blessing.
He Dolan very much appreciates it. Looks a little confused and slightly uncomfortable, but otherwise,
Then I
quite
sit down and drink, and I sit down and drink the coffee.
give the blessing, walk away, sit down in the furthest corner possible. Got it. With that, he kind of doesn't. He stands there for a second. He doesn't know if he should like say or do anything. He kind of like is almost was expecting magic, but didn't. Nothing happened, so he's just like, all right, and goes back to. He looks like he's
But he-
preparing some sort of stew for breakfast.
But he feels much better and is at peace.
He does. He does, in fact, feel a little bit more at peace than he did before you came in. That's true. All right. Bellarmine is drinking his coffee. Back to Canadin. What are you doing, if anything?
Once I hear that that Babbage is awake, I'm gonna go in there and say, yeah, I saw your little critter here last night. Figured it was
him?
yours.
Yeah, him's mine.
So him like
He's yours?
so he's just kind of standing next to the affect engines that you made, but the moment the Canadian walks in, he kind of like looks up, stares at you, and then like bounces over to Babbage and like sits behind Babbage's leg and kind of like grabs Babbage's leg and like looks at him.
Like a shy toddler.
Like
Oh, it's all right.
Look
Yeah.
at it. You got it. You want to give it a treat?
What's that?
Can I give it a treat?
A treat? He particularly enjoys gold.
he like so at that he like steps out from behind Babbage's leg, walks up to like right up to you, Canada, and is just
Wait a minute, hang on. Let me see. Do I have any? I have no gold. I have no gold. I look around on the table. Do I see anything that's like remotely shiny or coin looking?
I mean, you see there's a bolt that's sitting on a table somewhere, but he's still like he's like, I mean, he's like what, a foot tall. He's unexpectedly got his arms up at you.
I grab the bolt and try to give it to him.
He takes it, looks at it, looks over at Babbage.
And I'll just,
I just shrug.
like, yeah, great job.
Then he puts his hands up and he does a little dance. And then like seems to like put it in some sort of like small little pocket it has behind it, and like little hatch that pops up in the back, sticks it in there, closes it, and with that is now just standing. Now it's standing next to Canaan, and just kind of looks at Babbage. Now it's just looking back and forth between you, the two of you.
Made a friend today. You
I certainly did make a friend today. Well, technically, I made him last night.
Yuck, yuck, yuck.
I knew that was coming.
we go find Cognan?
I'm sorry, say that again?
We go find Cognan?
Yes. Did Bellarmine give him the journal?
He cheesed it. He came in, looked at some blue liquid, and then left.
I wasn't too keen on do-it-yourself coffee in Cognan's Tower.
Well, he wasn't there, so you know what are you going to do?
He left mumbling something about getting coffee. So I imagine
It was weird. I feel like I could almost hear Bellarmine, even though I know he's not in the room.
It's called ventriloquist projection.
It's so strange. Anyway, yeah, let's see if we can find Cognan and move this plot along. I mean, let him know.
So, hold on. You find a combination of like miniature pumpkins, like pumpkins that you could like imagine imagine a pumpkin but the size of an apple.
They exist.
Like
those decorative gourds.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I guess I'm imagining like a giant purple one, or purple. Yes, purple. It's purple. You have purple apple-sized pumpkins, or at least you think they look like pumpkins. You're not sure what they are. There's a couple of those. I think that there's just plain regular carrots. You find some. There's various different like spices. But I think you're just trying to make yourself like a vegetable medley. Is that accurate, you?
Basically, yeah, little vegetarian breakfast kind of thing.
I mean, yeah, you've got some of those gourds, some carrots, some mushrooms that have like a surprisingly hard texture. Like you're not sure if it's not like they're dried out, they're just surprisingly like almost crunchy. Like the carrot has the texture, or the mushrooms that are about yay big, like have the texture of a carrot, which is odd. So you're not really sure. Like you put a bunch of stuff together. The gourds takes like applesauce. Like they actually like you chew into it and it's almost like it's got applesauce in it. Like it's a hard shell. And then there's some mandarin oranges that as you peel them, seem to have a sort of almost what's the word? Tofu type texture on the inside.
Don't give him to Bellarmine.
But yeah, you managed to scavenge up your own like little custom meal. But as you're finishing that up, Babbage, Canadian, and him come upstairs just as Cognan is coming downstairs.
Ah,
Oh, you're here.
wonderful timing.
Tell me. And like he's like, you're here, and like he runs past you. He basically runs downstairs. You hear him, like you hear the commotion of somebody jumping onto a bed. Some excited like and like you can hear him and River basically like reminiscing for a minute. She's very grateful. She's annoyed that he woke him up. He comes back upstairs. She seems like yeah, just it's a mixture of commotions. You're not entirely certain what they're saying, but then he comes back upstairs. He's like, "Hooray! Thank you for saving her. I am extremely grateful. Allow me to cook you some sort of salad. Allow me to make you a cake." And then he proceeds to move over to here. Grabs like 3 pots and like bags of various different types of materials. None of it looks like flour, sugar, or butter, but he starts pouring things into a pot, and he starts just sort of like throwing things into a pot.
Okay, well, I appreciate your fervor, but what I am more interested in is to get your thoughts on the journal that Bellarmine handed you.
I'm sorry, what?
Okay, great.
I have not seen your friend Bellarmine.
I finish my coffee and I head back to the tower.
Okay. Conveniently timed. Deacon. All right, everybody should now be at the tower. I'm going to hold on. You're gonna warp for a second and see if I don't know how to make this. I'm gonna do.
Now, where is Congdon?
Hold on.
I haven't found him from the beginning.
Well, so you walk in there. Hold on. Where did I put? There's your token. All right, so everybody's in the lab kitchen now. So your Bellarmine walks in. Yu's eating a bowl of some sort of salad with some odd textures. Cognan has there's a small little robot following Babbage around you've never seen before, Bellarmine. And Cognan looks extremely focused on making something in a pot. And Kanadin, as far as I know, is just standing around.
Speaking of
I would
Spain,
just
here
be
he
kind of
is.
like blending in.
Okay.
So I hand the journal to Congdon and say, "Here, we acquired this, and you might be interested in it."
Oh, that's nice. He puts it back down on the table and continues to make the cake.
And
Cognan.
then, and then I look over at the little robot and go, "Where did this come from?"
At which point,
him?
him now then like does this another one of those like hiding behind Babbage's legs and be like kind of like hiding like looking at Bellarmine.
Oh,
And I-
him's
and-
mine.
Well, before you said that, I grabbed the hilt of the sword and started to draw it and then put it back.
Oh, all right. No need for that, Bellarmine. Read the room, buddy.
Well, I don't know if that, just is yours or something that's collecting information.
Well, he's doing both. He's both mine and he collects information.
All right, good. As long as he doesn't eat our food, that's fine.
Interestingly enough, he can consume food and beverage, but does not need to do either.
Good. Well, leave my food alone.
Okay, you hear that, him? Leave it alone.
It gives you a thumbs up.
Anyway, Cognan, I know you're really excited about this cake that none of us are going to want to eat, but you should really read this journal. It talks about some things called mythals and seems to be the history of an Ella, and brings up a lot of information about the artifacts, including, I believe, that sword that we had to find and some other things. I feel like it's more interesting than whatever you got in that pot.
So he pauses at the mention of the Mythals and Ella. Proceeds to walk his pot over to Kanadin, drops it in front of you, Kanadin, and goes, "You need to keep storing this, please. If it stops stirring, we need to leave." And with that, he comes back over.
I kind of shrug and then I use my mage hand to continue, just make it.
Oh, there you go.
There.
All right.
Keep stirring and no one explodes.
Bellarmine, you notice that when Kanadin casts Mage Hand, you've kind of expected like the crystals in the room to like shimmer, and that doesn't happen.
At all.
No.
He's got his thing on him, doesn't he?
I don't understand that. statement.
Babbage has the
He does. He always does. I'm just pointing something out to Bellarmine that he would have noticed. And while this, so that Cognan now has the journal in his hand and he's flipping through. Fast forward the couple minutes it take him to sort of like, well, he flips a few pages and then he's like, you see his eyes widen.
I'm having a catch with my son while he's reading.
With what?
I'm just tossing a copper coin back and forth.
Oh, a coin.
Like,
Okay,
well,
I'm just curious what. So the first time
with
you
what? Yeah.
the first time you throw it at him, he just sort of takes it, like puts his hands up and then puts it back in his pouch.
No, you throw to me, and then I catch it. It's fun. Today we're learning what fun is.
He takes the coin back out and like wings it at you.
All right.
As hard as he can, but it's still like, I mean, you'd probably be able to catch it, but it like he clearly is throwing it way harder than necessary. Fail.
Okay. I'll bobble it and I'll drop it.
Okay.
I'll pick it back up and no. Like you gotta float it. Whee!
So you float it, he catches it, and then like traps it back forward in his hands and then drops it.
He dropped it.
Like
Phenomenal.
picks it back up, and then like tosses it, and this goes back and forth.
I love it.
Cognan seems to only get it like through like a page or two of the journal, and then puts it down, runs upstairs, takes his hat back out, makes sure that the mage hand is still stirring the pot, continues upstairs, comes back down with like he's gone for maybe like 15 seconds, comes running back downstairs with like 4 like notebook looking things, sort of like pluts them down on the table up here, like pushes a bunch of stuff out of the way of the table. There is a glass that falls and shatters. Him kind of like startles for a second and like looks over at the glass that shatters. Cognan doesn't seem to care. He's just like flipping. He's pulling out books and like looking through things and referencing things. He goes to the journals, goes up and down. So he's lost in his notes and like now like perusing the journal, looking at his notes back and forth. And now him is like slowly creeping over to the broken flask.
I try to motion to him and explain that broken glass is something that we will throw in our haversack because that's useful material. So I want.
Oh, he goes over and then starts like picking up little
Yeah.
pieces and sticking them in his little package.
Yeah,
his little
and then
pocket.
once his little pocket gets full, because he can only hold so much,
Hmm.
I open the backpack and say, it goes in here.
So he hops into the backpack.
I take it back. So you stand, and I open his little pouch, and I say, these go in here.
And he thumbs up, hops into the pouch, or like he hops into the pouch, turns around, like opens the pouch, and then like
Shakes it out.
shimmies it out, and then like closes it up and
So
hops
happy.
back out. And
I love him.
you have finished
chuckle at
your
this
breakfast
motion as
salad.
well.
I don't know if you want to be doing anything else while all of this is going on.
What's that?
You is done with breakfast. He's eaten.
Oh.
You have eaten the vegetable medley / whatever the heck it is you just consumed.
While they're discussing I'll be honest, I just spent 5 minutes reading over some druid spells, so I
So
didn't
you have
capture-
not been paying attention, and neither has you. So are you doing anything?
Perfect roleplay.
So
I've been paying attention just in a very hyper-focused way.
fair enough. So yeah, Babbage and him are interacting. Canadian's just sort of brooding while his mage hand is stirring a pot that is smoking a little.
This is gonna be fun.
Ooh.
Jeff's gonna get a fae. Like we're all gonna have slaves except Bellarmine.
Well, he
Thank
summoned
you.
his. They're just going to take a while to get here.
I've got 3 of them on their way, and one of them's a squire.
But do any of
I'm
them
not gonna have
fly?
any friends.
No, they just feel compelled to move in this direction, but don't know how to get there.
Walking in circles on the ground underneath.
I know he's up there.
Okay, within so this dingbot that Jim has,
Yes.
Yes.
is there any kind of container of water within a few feet, like within the vicinity?
Yes.
Okay, Then, as Jim is teaching his android child basic functionality, I'm going to use that to just whimsically, specifically, you can cause the water to form into simple shapes and animate at your direction.
Okay.
So I'm just, this is like Yu's version of Gucci 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 Goo, like making funny shapes with the water, and I don't know, trying to interact with this robot that is like about as far from a druid as you can get.
So it's gone back to...
But you understands that this gizmo is important to Cabbage Barley, so he wants to help. He just doesn't know how.
So, I mean, so him and Babbage are going back and forth with this thing with the coin, right? And then with like him like with the Dingbot like dropping the coin and tossing it and eventually getting the idea. I imagine you get this water shape to like float in front of the Dingbot at some point, or like to get its attention.
Oh yeah, and then occasionally I'll throw in some produce flame to make a shape, and then out of nowhere, a little mini fireball evaporates it, and then it just comes back. And
so with the water shapes, the Dingbot kind of just looks at him, looks at Babbage again.
I mean, I guess I know what shape water is.
Well, no, it's like it wants to. It's basically looking. It's just looking at you. You kind of just stare back at it.
Oh yeah,
and
no,
then
we
it
don't.
like
We
it,
don't
like,
take that.
pokes the water.
So initially it'll be whimsical, but then Yu has an idea and decides to form the water into the shape, I guess a prism or a crystal of some kind, but basically to refract the light from either produced flame or whatever the dominant light source is in the room, to essentially create a little star globe on the ceiling of the constellations as he knows.
Wow, that's much more intricate than I thought we were going.
Yeah, same.
All for RP. I'm not trying to do it. Just
right. No, the Dingbot.
I don't know if I actually recreate the constellations, but I'm trying to show like, look up, young. That kind of thing.
I'm going to assume this is the sort of thing that was used for you to like teach you about constellations as a young
Absolutely.
Herblog.
This is why these are two.
So it just sort of like comes naturally to you to be like, oh, this was something that I would do with like certain magic skills. Well done. So yeah, at that the Dingbot just kind of like.
Heck, I'm looking at it.
Dingbot and yeah. I mean, you still hear the ruffling of pages as Cognin's like mumbling to himself and like again still flipping back and forth. But yeah, no, everybody, both Dingbot and Babbage are now mesmerized by your light show on the ceiling.
I glance up at the light show, but then I look back down at this pot. Is the pot smoking?
It's starting to smoke a little bit more.
So
like before, it was just like a wisp, like if you just put out a candle. But now it's starting to the smoke is starting to get a little thicker, like over the course of a couple minutes.
Cognate.
Hey, what? Just start faster.
I command the mage hand to stir faster.
It sort of picks up pace, and then with that, the smoke, like again, comes down to like a candle wick, like just being put out, kind of wisp, and then it stops.
And what's the command for that? /EM?
/me.
Oh, gosh gracious. Bellarmine, are you doing anything in the middle of all this?
Just shaking my head and looking around.
But make sure you're typing as you and not as Jeff.
Fair enough.
Thank you.
Oh, I didn't realize I had a whole list of things.
And I tell Congdon, have you read the rest of the journal?
Oh, yes. This is fascinating. Your Ella was known as one of the highest teacher in the land, highest teacher in the island among the school of wizards that lived here. But I had no idea that she had somehow been involved in. It sounds like from this she was one of Revok's instructors, which implies that Revok used to be a mage. That is interesting. No one knows the origin of the man who caused the island to go flying into the air, and we've only had hints of his mana engines design. All of his notes were lost, so the fact that we have any mention of it all makes me wonder if it makes it sound like it's running. That's fantastical. And Mythals. If only I could have talked to Gregor or gotten more of his notes. It looks like the actual equations got ripped out of the journal.
And those books that you brought down, what's in there?
Oh, my own, sir, my own discussions of Mythals, what notes I have on them, my own catalogs of all the different students of the schools, especially in Stone Grove, who have been here. I'm trying to make sense of, I can figure out, as well as, I'm trying to see if I can correlate what those items that they have, if anything, maybe of particular, to understand how they made these mythos themselves.
Oh, the other thing, Bellarmine. So you has been doing a lot of like little bits of magic, and you're used to seeing the crystals around Cognin's lab whenever magic is happening, like shimmering a little bit when they're not like when people aren't right next to Babbage, and to you it looks like you is doing all kinds of magic and nothing's responding. Like nothing seems to be reacting to the fact that he's casting magic.
But the casting takes place properly. Just no.
Yeah, like you
oddball.
haven't seen anything weird happen with all the magic that.
So I mentioned that to everyone.
Okay. Everybody. Bellarmine tells you that he notices that magic is not causing reactions that he's used to seeing.
Well, yeah. I mean, I have these mana shards. We were able to cast spells as long as we were standing around me, right?
At which point,
Well,
Cognin kind of like. Oh wait, no. Never mind. No, he doesn't. I take that back.
So why don't we try it without standing near you and see if there's something else going on?
Well, last time you did that, I believe you started floating in the sky.
Well,
But you're welcome to try. As Babbage grabs him and pulls him under the table with him over to here.
and I'll walk on the other side of the room, wherever that is,
Yep.
and just cast a very not too
I mean,
powerful.
I'm sure you've got cantrips you could cast.
Yeah, you've got cantrips. You can cast light.
Yeah, and I'll cast light.
You cast light.
Hang on.
An object.
Let me-
You have to pick an object to glow essentially, or to like be a source of light.
So we'll try him. We'll make him grow.
So, him is down underneath the table with Babbage. You'd have to walk over there and like tap him. It's a touch spell.
Which kind of defeats the purpose of.
Oh, that would be too close. Let's find a spell we can do from a distance. How about?
I mean, you can just cast light on something else.
He could, but he doesn't want to.
But you gotta touch it. That's all.
Yes.
Yeah,
I mean, you could
literally
touch. You could touch anything in the lab. Is what I'm saying.
All right.
Is all he's saying.
I'll cast light on the blue fluid in the blue cup.
The cup itself now emits a bright light that's illuminating the whole room. And again, none of the crystals that you see along the edge actually resonate at all.
Oh,
There's something else going on here then.
that was interesting. Cognin.
There?
He looks up from his books.
Bellarmine brings up a good point. The crystals you have around the room and the ones that I have on me typically glow blue as if they're consuming or stabilizing whatever's wrong with the weave, but none of that happened, and Bellarmine just successfully cast light.
He looks back at the journal. He looks back over at Bellarmine.
What did? Okay. What happened in the Iron Outpost?
He like looks to you all.
Oh, we grabbed a sword, and then a bunch of other swords tried to kill us, and then we walked away from it.
Wait.
This sword, pointing like in the journal, at like Cliff's sword that's referenced in the journal.
Is that render?
Does it look
He
like
stops.
Render?
He like describe the sword, and like he starts like flipping through one of his notebooks.
It was named the Render, and it was red. I mean, we made it. I mean, didn't you see it yesterday when we made the duplicate?
Oh, I forgot he was in the room for that. Oh, so he already knows. Okay, all right, back up. Okay, no, I forgot that. I forgot, like, he knows the whole story. It's the rest of the town that doesn't. Yeah, we're gonna rewind that for a second. So, okay, upon Bellarmine casting light, Cognin's eyes, like, go really wide, like,
The sword's gone. The missile. You took out the missile. The missile. The missile.
and he, like, runs out. He runs out of the tower.
Like running through the streets shouting the Mythal.
Essentially, like,
Phenomenal.
so, like, he takes off. Like, he runs out of the tower and takes off. And, like, as soon as he gets out the door, he's just like, we can cast magic! And just starts throwing prestidigitation, like, flares and notes, and is just running through the streets. Making a scene.
Phenomenal.
And you are all left in his lab.
Yeah, I'm holding him's hand.
It just kind of, I mean, him
have,
just
like,
kind of,
the-
like, looks up at you, like,
I've got the anime like water droplet out of the nose, stunned. Like,
so it, like, it's kind of like holding your hand while you, like, you look stunned, and then throws a coin at you.
that snaps me back to reality. I appreciate that. I'm gonna hoist it up and perch it on my shoulder like a parrot, so I don't have to carry it around with my hands.
It's, like, standing there and, like, sort of wobbles, grabs onto your ear.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. It's just, alright, so now it's like, it's standing but holding onto your ear and just sort of
Oh
balancing.
no, like I sit it so it's comfortable.
Oh, alright, well it, like, and it just starts looking around.
Yep, I'm like that's your seat, him.
He's like you see him reaching toward the ground at the coin that's on the ground, or did you catch it?
Oh no, I picked it up. It
Okay.
snapped me back to reality. I reclaimed it.
Got it.
I'm gonna. Well, that was a heck of a scene. Where the heck did he go? Come on, him.
Well, he's on you, so you don't have to say, like, him is physically on you. Alright, Babbage is walking outside. Kanan, you're, yeah. Your mage hand is still basically,
I'm
like,
just, like
rigorously...
starting to think I'm not really sure like what I should be doing here. So do I have to? What's the distance that I can have mage hand? Let me see. Hang on.
Let's look that up. I don't know.
30 feet. So I
He
guess I'm
cast
kinda like,
it within 30 feet. Oh yeah, okay. No, I can move further than 30 feet. Oh, it vanishes if it's more than 30 feet away from you. Okay.
I'll look at it. I see that everybody is just kind of like leaving the lab now. I'm like, whatever. I shrug. I leave the lab too. I let it go.
Okay.
He ran away, so like for as far as I can go, I walk. I let it disappear when I hit the 30 feet. Like I don't dismiss it.
Okay. And you walk out of the lab. What are you up to?
I tap you and tell him like give him the nod to come along.
When I see my tinkerer friend depart, I'm going to follow after him because it has been a long time since you has been able to pass on the art of StarCraft to someone that seemed to be interested, even for a short while. And then after that, once we get outside, and just make casual conversation with Babbage Charles, because I'm not in character, I'll say his correct name, about how surprised you is that his knowledge of the stars is so accurate, and that you is almost embarrassed that he misprojected the constellations that he stares at every night, and wants to know more about the little gizmo thing that Babbage Charles was using to know that the constellation was out of position. Because as far as you know, the only way to understand the stars is just look up at them. So to have, I assume, a sextant or something like that, or whatever's in that kit, it's, whoa, what is, we must show you.
What did I miss?
Oh, so to explain, Jeff, I rolled that as my knowledge of the stars. I don't have on me navigator's tools. I only have a few tools on me.
Mhm.
But I rolled that check to see whether I noticed there were any discrepancies. That was the only. It was for flavor more than anything. So you didn't see me pull out a sextant. I was just looking at the stars and noticed that it didn't
Well,
look
even
right.
if you didn't do that, it's like this would be me going, "Oh, how do you know Druidcraft? I don't know how to make a
Sure.
floating robot, but you know how to look at the stars. We should talk more, or
Yeah,
you should talk to."
I am a wealth of things to know. I'm happy to
Oh.
share whatever I can.
Clearly,
So what's going on?
So, after you brought up the notion that you could cast light without issue,
Yeah.
Cognan put two and two together, apparently, and started shouting, "The Mythal! The Mythal! Oh my god, the Mythal! We can cast magic again!" And then he ran out of the tower into the streets like a madman, casting like sparks from his fingers, shouting, "We can cast! We can cast!" And we all currently are following him.
Wait, Mike.
Yep.
Before anything else happens, did Cognan take the journal with him?
No.
Okay. Before I left the building, I would have grabbed the journal. I would have seen it sitting on the table. I would have brought it.
Okay. So Bellarmine, just one other thing that you notice. So you recall that.
I was getting there, but go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, it's fine.
I mean, you notice that, like, as everybody's running out of the room, so does Kanadin, and his mage hand that was busy, like, stirring that pot is now gone, and nobody's tending to the pot anymore.
So we better leave pretty quick because it might blow up. Or maybe I can grab the handle and start stirring.
I mean, you do you. Whatever you're going to do, or you do.
Yeah, I think I'll grab the handle and start stirring and yell to everybody, "Hey, the pot, the mage hand, the stirring, it's stopped."
All right.
I grab the notebook. I kind of toss it up in the air and catch it and walk out the door.
I like all day.
All right. So as you are, I mean, as the three of you are coming out, basically you can kind of immediately notice that there's a commotion in what is essentially acts as the town square.
Is the pot hot?
Yes.
So I can't just carry it with me and keep stirring it.
It is very heavy. It's pretty big. I mean, it's like cast iron. It's like this big.
Wait, Cognan carried it over to Kanadin and said, "Keep stirring this."
Oh, you're right. He did.
So I grab it and keep stirring it, and then follow everybody.
So you have it in. Okay. All right. You have that. That'll work. All right.
You know.
Fair enough. Okay. So you're now all. I believe.
Want it to blow up.
You're all in town. I believe. Yeah. It's kind of hard to tell. Once
Yeah.
you split the party, it's not like you move all players. It doesn't.
No, we're all here.
Okay. So yeah, with that, you sort of see a commotion. Cognan is like running around, like super excited, basically like, and everybody's sort of talking like. So yeah, you basically have like what looks to be most of the town. Oops.
Is this a solid place I'm standing next to?
Well, hold on. Okay, you're up here for now. So basically, as you're okay. Thanks, Babbage. All 235 feet per foot. Jeez. So as you all basically get to that stairwell, you can see that Babbage is sort of yelling and explaining like, "We can make magic! We can make magic!" And at first, there seems to be sort of a lot of disbelief, but as people like start to hesitantly cast like basically various different cantrips between like prestidigitation and some folks that are casting like also like manipulate water, some fire, like there's sparks going all over the place. There just seems to be like this sort of general sense of joy that comes over the whole town, and they almost like have an impromptu jam session. Like a bunch of people pull out like violins and guitars and saxophones and
Ooh, lolly.
him suddenly has like his piano out, and he just starts like doing like
Oh,
you see
there's-
like that rainbow.
That's right. There is
sort
a
of, like-
him.
right, there is a guy. There is already a guy named him, just the different kind of him. And there's basically it's just
different. It's HYM.
I'm sorry, say that again.
It's spelled differently. It's HYMN.
Yes. Exactly. So yeah, it's just like the whole session's basically the whole town's just celebrating and happy and playing music, and it's very very loud and but still like there's a lot of good melody. Everybody seems to be it's joyous. Cognan then notices Bellarmine that you have the pot and you're still stirring it, and like walks over and goes,
Oh, I'm sure it's done by now.
and like pulls out like a small like pouch like this big of what looks it's like a little sugar packet, like rips it open, pours it in, and then he's like, you can put that down now, it's fine. And like as you stir it in for like 2 swigs, and he's like, that's fine, you can put it down, the cake will be ready in about 17 hours, because apparently he has a watch.
How is that more efficient than just baking a cake?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Hours.
Again,
So I
don't know
set
why
it
he
down
has
on a
watch.
solid surface.
Okay.
Oh, that's if I leave it alone because I've got magic.
And he takes the pot, he puts it on top. You see him you see him do some weird mixture of like cantrips that doesn't look like anything you've seen before, and a cake just starts to erect out of the pot, like rising up, almost like it's big, like it's tiered. It's like blue and green, and it has frosting on it, and there's like a little picture of like the 4 of you holding like River up in the middle as like a cake topper. And like as it's rising, he grabs the pot. Where is he? Brings it out to the middle, like puts it down. Physically, like smashes the pot so it shatters, and then like the cake almost immediately doubles in size.
And so I have to ask, what would have happened if we stopped stirring this?
Oh, it would have exploded. You would have.
So not fun.
And like out of like seemingly like out of his pouch, like Cognan starts just like cutting slices of cake. He doesn't have any plates. He's just literally like taking a slice of cake and then just handing it to random people that have their hands free, including each one of you.
I take a piece, I break off a little bit, and hand it to him.
Him kind of looks at it and sticks it in his pouch. A piece is handed to you.
We all would have read the journal, correct? Like,
I mean, that's up
as
to you and
characters.
your characters. I forced you all to read it just so we could save time during this. But if your character never would have bothered, then I leave that up to you to roleplay or not.
Yeah, probably would not
Candidate's
have.
like, no.
Yeah, no, I probably would not have, for sure.
But you have the journal still, so that's
Yeah.
that's fine. Yeah, so you're each handed a slice of cake, and yeah, and like just the whole scene seems to be joyous, and then Cognan, satisfied with his work, kind of just like bows. Like people start clapping for the cake that's in the middle, and he like bows, and then sort of squeezes past you all, and heads back to his tower.
Where's the other gnome?
The other gnome. Where is she? Oh, she's not there.
Okay. My next goal was going to try to find her and interact in some way.
Okay. You do not see her among the crowd. Oh wait, no, I take that back. She's right here.
Oh, that's who she is?
Yes.
Okay. Alright, I know her name. Hang on. I'm going to do this correctly.
Do I have notes? No, do I? Hold on.
Teg Specklewit.
Yes.
Alright. I approach Teg, and I say, morning, Teg.
She kind of like waves at you. She is devouring the cake that's in her mouth as you walk up to her. Just
Enjoying
you
that
do notice
cake,
that
is?
she's not actually Oh, she has her. There's. I forgot one thing. Hold on. Since you're actually interacting with her, she has. I mean, you notice this immediately. 'Cause it's like she has a globe, like a blue. It's a drift globe that's literally floating like over her shoulder.
Drift globe? I don't know what a drift globe is.
It's a. I mean, she basically has a. Um, it's a blue orb, like it's a blue
Okay.
glass orb that's just like that's literally floating behind her, and it seems to be it's emitting light.
Ah, okay.
But yeah, she's devouring a piece of cake. She's like, she is not playing an instrument, just as a note. Whereas almost everybody else in the room seems to be doing some sort of instrument playing, with the exception of
Gotcha.
actually these three over here aren't, but almost everybody else is playing an instrument of
Is
sorts.
this also a drift globe? I'm confused now.
Oh no, it was there. I'm sorry. I just didn't see it behind one of my other NPCs. So yeah, she's got it. So she's you see her just sort of like, oh. Sometimes Cognin's methods are a little odd, but the man can make a cake.
Yeah, I mean, once you can freely cast magic, a lot of things come out real nice. Listen, I was hoping to discuss with you about the acquisition of certain materials that would aid in my work.
She kind
I
of
know you're
eyes you suspiciously at that. You want materials?
That's the goal. Yeah, I'd certainly not for free if I need to purchase them or work for them or trade for them. Obviously, I'm not trying to grift anybody. Cognan was nice enough to lend me the contents of his, shall we say, rat's nest in his basement, which I have cataloged and is full of a variety of semi-useful stuff. But really, to pursue my research and work better, I'm going to need access at some point to more higher quality materials. And I figured you'd be the person to speak to about where to find and how to get more.
Oh, I know exactly where everything is. I too have a catalog, and she like whips out this notebook that's like thick. In fact, I do a very strict inventory every day to make sure that everyone in harm's way has exactly what they need, so that we can make sure to last in this town as long as possible. Although, now that we have magic, I suppose there are certain materials that we can now procure through magical means.
Well,
She like opens her book and starts like flipping through, just like checks her like.
Certainly, perishable goods should no longer be a concern. For example, food and such.
True. I'm gonna have to catalog all the items that I don't need in the event that we now have certain magic abilities. I'll have to talk to him about this, as well as
Who,
basically. I'm sorry. What?
Sorry, this is him. Or did you mean him?
Oh, that's not confusing at all. As she looks over at the tiefling playing the piano, and then over at the dinglebot you have on your shoulder, like.
I admittedly haven't really decided on a permanent name. I just made him yesterday.
He's cute.
Oh. What's that, him? You think she's cute too? Him clearly has done nothing.
Yeah, him is not. Him is just sort of looking around curiously at everything, like completely ignoring the conversation that you're having. I mean, he did kind of look at the drift globe at first, but now he's just kind of like looking around.
So is a drift globe something I would know of outside of this island, or is this the first time I'm encountering one?
No, you would have come across it. It's a magical item that you would have come across that sometimes
Okay.
that you've seen magic users sometimes have, is basically just like a portable torch, basically.
Gotcha. So it's
basically
not
just
unique to this scenario.
No, it is not.
Got it. Okay, that's fine.
But no, she's like lost in her books at this point. You do actually roll me a perception check, DC 10.
Perception check.
Okay. You just barely notice that him is trying to hop off your shoulder.
Oh, where are you going?
He kind of like tugs at you and is pointing over at the dwarf with the mechanical arm.
Do I get the sense that he's trying to go take the dwarf's arm? Because I don't want that to happen.
He is just looking at you and looking at the dwarf and pointing and like tugging.
Okay.
That's all you're getting.
I'll hang on to him securely, and
Okay.
I will politely excuse myself and say, "Well, enjoy the cake, and at some point we'll have to connect so I can talk about what might be available."
You can always find me. I'm running behind. I don't know why I keep looking at my wrist as if anybody in this world has a watch. You can always find me in the storage room, which is building 6. And with that,
Very
she
well.
actually takes off. She actually starts walking. Now that she's had her cake, she actually starts walking in that direction.
I'll find you at some point.
All right. You. What are you doing throughout this?
Is this Dolan right here?
Yes.
Okay. I will step forward to Dolan and take one hand from behind my back and hold out the singing spade.
Ah, thank you. I was hoping we'd eventually have that returned to our persons. I'm much obliged.
Oh,
You will.
you did not mean to borrow this for so long. You did not. You has come to his senses. Thank you.
Thank you for returning it. It is much appreciated. And he kind of like slings it on his back.
No, you don't have to thank me.
You called yourself me.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh no, he made a mistake in character. God, everybody, shame for shame. So no, he's appreciated. Yeah, Dolan like, thank you. I think for everything that you and your compatriots have done for this town. Just the amount of entertainment we could have alone for the fact that we now have access to magic again. This is amazing. You are certainly have free reign to any of the honeymead liqueurs and whatever meals I can possibly procure. Perhaps I'll have to go talk to Tag and see if she can maybe spare an extra ration or two's worth of food for everybody.
As
For
soon
this
as you,
evening.
like, at the moment you say honey, you kind of perks up and says, there was cake and there's honey. You only eats honey cake.
Oh, I will have to see. You know what? I bet Julie and I could come up with something. I suppose you could talk to Cognan about it, but if you don't want something possibly, you want honey cake that you can actually see and recognize and not have some weird property that you actually contain. So
Think of this as like
Julie and I could probably
think of this as
arrange
like
something.
lembas bread, and look, more lembas bread. Basically, little stylized travel rations.
Yes, nice. So with that, he actually walks over. He excuses himself, walks over to Julie, and they actually head over. The two of them will now head over to her house and hang out in there for a bit. The Great Bellarmine. I take it you followed Cognan back into the tower, or did you?
Right, because I want to read those books that he brought down when we had the journals brought out.
Okay, I will come back to you. Kanadin.
Zach's internet just went down.
Oh, he's frozen.
He's frozen.
I have not.
Yeah, he's
I've
not-
been interacting and
Not
talking
really
with
there. He just texted us.
Aww. No.
Unfortunate.
It is unfortunate.
It's been a day for that stuff.
Yeah, it has been. Okay. Let me think. Well, I don't want to go too far with one of our main people completely out of commission, even if he is happy being a wallflower for the purposes of this, as his character would be.
Was that his way of saying he's not coming back tonight, or just that it might be a while before he can get back?
I don't know that he's commented on that.
Yeah, he probably doesn't. It's his internet at work, so I don't know if there's much he can do to troubleshoot that.
I'm good to keep going if we all want to keep going. Happy to.
He says he's working on it.
Okay. All right, we'll just get him up to speed then. Okay. So Bellarmine, we will move you back into Now he finally goes. And now my stream's all screwy. That's okay. Oh. Maybe.
Oh, and
There.
Mike, with the departure of the singing spade, I am now true to druid form with no metal items or objects on my person.
Oh. Fair enough. I appreciate that. Thank you. Good on you. Zach is currently role-playing as spinning cute squares. Oh, no, we have a Zach.
Hey guys, I'm back.
Hey, he's
Sorry.
back.
I don't know
All
what
right.
happened.
What's the last thing you remember? I have no idea when we lost you.
You called himself me.
Say that one more time, sorry?
You called himself me.
Oh, okay. All right, so
So
you
embarrassing.
didn't miss much. Julie and Dolan went off to go make cakes. Okay, the Blessed Bellarmine walked off to Oldor's tower. I'm gonna get back to him in a second. So, what are you doing in the middle of all this commotion there, Canaan?
Well, I would be enjoying my piece of cake. Let's see, where did you
The
go?
cake, by the way, despite the fact that it's like blue and green, and when you open it, it seems to be like a vanilla kind of texture, it tastes like the best key lime pie you've ever had.
That is a whole lot of things that I like there.
Me too. I
Like-
was thinking the same thing.
Like you wouldn't like it doesn't like your eyes and what's happening in the texture and like the taste in your mouth do not line up, but it looks kind of pretty and it tastes delicious.
That sounds wonderful.
Okay.
I truly want that. But I eat my slice and then I go with you wherever he's headed.
Well, he's just hanging out at the moment, so all right.
Okay, then I go hang out with him.
Okay. All right. Switching over.
Oh, Zach, you see me go up to Dolan, and
Oh, he passed
all
him back
tall
this.
and awkwardly, but totally willingly, hand over the singing spade. In no small part because spade itself is made of metal, and you does not use metallic objects. So.
Pat you on the back and give you a nice little good job nod.
Oh, and then I commissioned, as a reward, I'm getting a bunch of honey cakes for my rations, pure RP flavor.
I like honey cake.
I bet you do.
Oh, so actually, Canadin. Before we switch off of you, hold on. I gotta go back to Harmony.
And Mike, the way that I'm envisioning these honey cakes is like those Little Debbie's honey buns. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
You know, not big. You know, little. For a furball too, it's even smaller than that, relatively speaking. So it's like little Scooby snacks.
Scooby snack.
So, as you two are chatting, as Dolan walks away with Julie up to Julie's house, two NPCs, two people who you've seen around town and you've like witnessed in the Singing Spade, walk up to you. You and Canadin. I appear to have lost Canadin again.
Nope, just.
Oh, you're just
Logan,
off screen.
I'm
Okay. So the woman is an elf who walks up and basically extends her hand to shake yours, Canadin.
Shake her hand, looking
Okay.
confused.
She shakes your hand. She says she like nods, goes to shake your hand to you. I don't know. Jeff?
I'm sorry.
There's an elf that is attempting to shake your hand. Are you taking it to shake?
Yes.
Okay. She takes your hand warmly. She goes, thank you both ever so much for helping us with our magical situation in the town, and as I understand, helping with River. My name is Mercury. You can find my... Oh, dang it, where did I put it? 10. You can find my house is the last one on the right, just before you get to the gate in the upper level. If either of you would like an item enchanted in any way, shape, or form, I am happy to provide my services at no charge for one item, as this way of saying thank you. She finishes that, and then the guy in the plague doctor's mask, standing next to you, he does not shake his hand. He kind of just walks up, like his demeanor's very like stiff and formal, and walks up to you both and goes, "Yes, yes, you and your clan, you and your group have proved interesting. If ever you have need of an alchemist or herbalist, you can find me behind Teg's storehouse, number 7 on the map."
What did you say before herbalists?
Yeah, he's an
Alchemist or herbalist.
and with that, the two of them walk off. Or actually, Mercury goes back to playing her French horn.
What did you offer again?
Say again?
What did you offer again?
To enchant an item.
To enchant an item.
We unlock magic items, guys.
And then, or you just chose to never find her. This is my chance to be like, I made all these NPCs, interact with them.
So, you as a practitioner of primal energies has never understood how an inanimate thing, rather than a living thing, can effectively wield magic, even if it's always the same thing.
Fair enough.
So you's gonna actually take her up on the offer right away.
Oh, you're gonna follow her.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so you're just following her. Okay, Quail. He never introduced his name. The guy with the doctor's mask actually doesn't say his name, and he just kind of walks off. Mercury, on the other hand, is actually heading to her house. Or no, I take that back. She's participating in the festivities and playing the French horn. So if you're gonna hang out next to her for a bit, you gotta wait. Kanadin, you said you're hanging out with you, so I assume you're following.
Yes.
All right, and now we're gonna go back to the Mage Tower, and just so that everybody can see what's happening, I'm gonna move you all here. Or I don't know if is everybody at the Mage Tower now? I don't know if that's how this works. No.
No. So you may have dragged our tokens there, but the players tab I think is still.
So that's interesting. The players tab now actually is on the Mage Tower, but because I think I split everybody, like it.
Yeah, if we're not on the, you have to add us back to the players tab to recombine us.
Oh. All right. Well, that's fine. You all can stay on the big map for now. Bellarmine is. You are back in the lab with Cogden.
And I say to Cogden, everybody's so joyous. Everybody's so happy. Everybody's all excited about having the possibility of getting their magic back. But what about this red witch who took the red sword and is probably trying to collect other magic items? I don't think we're as safe as everyone thinks we are.
Officer Buzzkill.
Okay,
That's why I
so
followed him alone. I figured, I wouldn't.
That was very good, Dad. Very.
so
valid.
you just
Can you describe this witch you refer to?
And I do my best to describe this red witch.
Okay. With
We got
that,
a name for her, don't we?
Yeah, she said her name, didn't she?
I don't remember how I know I said the name to you all. I don't remember how I
Yeah, no,
introduced it.
River said it.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, Morda Hart.
Mm-hmm.
So you say that
Right.
to Cogden, and to which she goes, and like goes diving into, like grabs one of her other books, looks like almost like a registry of names in like a school, and you're sort of, I imagine, Bellarmine, you're watching over Cogden's shoulder, so he actually like has her name circled, and she goes,
Oh, she was one of the primal.
Whatever the last thing you said did not transmit.
oh,
You
is it
said
me?
one of the, and then it muted.
Oh, that's awkward. You can hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay.
She was one of the primary lieutenants of Revit. From what I can gather from my notes, I think she was a fellow classmate of his.
She also has a whole cohort of creatures around her, and she was very, very powerful and able to freeze us inside of a container of magic that we could not get out of until we actually gave her the sword.
She sounds very powerful indeed. Did she seem to use blood in any way, shape, or form?
Well, there was certainly a lot of red around.
I mean, you would recall that some of her magic that she used literally like sucked blood out of you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So with that, I mean, she's like,
Oh, yes, if she's one of the blood mages, then she is definitely someone not to be trifled with easily. And you're right. But wait,
But read those notes. There's several magic items. She's already got one of them. Where are the others? How do we get control of those?
well, from what I understand of the notes here, it sounds like there's one in each. There's one in.
my brain's farting. Hold on. Where's my map? It's not.
My guess is based on his notes that there's one in Strongmont, one in Deadwatch, and then possibly another one. I mean, the notes are kind of vague. I'm guessing.
Let's see. The notes said Deadwatch. Let's see. Strongmont, Deadwatch, Iron Outpost, and the mine.
So I'm
Manamine.
guessing, yeah, the Manamine. So I'm guessing that they're each. The other three that are referenced here are in either Strongmont, Deadwatch, or the mine. Not that I would want to go
Is
anywhere.
there ways-
I would not want to go anywhere near any of those places, but you are more than welcome to try.
But it sounds like that's what we need to do. Doesn't sound like she'd be particularly helpful to us if she acquired more of these objects.
No, I can imagine she's only using them for nefarious purposes. Interesting.
So what do you suggest? Should we? What would be the easiest one to acquire?
I mean, Deadwatch is closest. You'd have to go through. You have to cross 3 bridges to the south, manage through the southern wilds, and get to Deadwatch to be the closest one. Otherwise, I mean, both Deadwatch and Strongmont are across 3 bridges to the south. I mean, the Manamine, you've got a long way to travel from through the Rushlands somehow, and then up through Wintervane.
What kind of hazards are en route?
3 Bridge is known to have colonies of harpies that live that guard some of the roads in between the bridges. The entire Southern Wilds, no one's really sure. Whisper tried to fly over there once, and she said, I mean, based on these notes, it sounds like we're going to be dealing with a lot of giant spiders from all the webbing. Among, I can't even imagine what else. As for the Rushlands, you're going to be dealing with a lot of the Lycelots own that territory and cover.
With all the magic that everyone's acquired, is there anything they could do to cause us to be less visible?
Potentially, but my concern is your mythal in the Iron Outpost has made magic safe for us here. I don't know how far the mythals of the other items, what kind of range they have, or how far their distance is, so I don't know if magic is safe to use anywhere else. Where else magic is safe to use. But it seems that the mythal that you cleared off the Iron Outpost makes it so that magic is now, the mythal that must have been unstable from age is now gone and allows us to cast magic again.
But we don't have control of that mythal. The Red Witch has that.
But yeah, she has the item. If the sword was removed from its post, the mythal itself is no more. That doesn't exist.
That explains what that means. It's its position.
Yes.
And so I then relay this information to the rest of the party.
Well, I mean, you're in the tower right now. Everybody else is.
Yeah.
In
I have
places.
to take a walk.
Okay. All right.
And I asked him, let's relay this information to the rest of the party.
You can certainly do that. I'm going to keep searching through my notes to see if there's anything else I can piece together based on Ella's journal.
If there is, let me know.
Of course.
River is up and about at this point, by the way. She seems to be making herself some sort of concoction of like some. You see her like mix a bunch of different fluids together, and it like manifests itself into like a smoothie of some sort, at least of that sort of concoction. She pulls out a metal straw and just starts sipping from it, and then you see her walk back downstairs.
Well, before she leaves, I ask, is there anything that you learned while you were in captivity that might help us?
Good question. Outside of, so she she kind of looks at you, with like sneaky or like with squinty eyes, because she remembers what you did to her. She still remembers you reading her journal. Um,
Yeah, but she also remembers us rescuing us. I think that canceled it out.
True. Well, that's up to her. So she talks about. So, okay. Is there anything else that she could teach you from her in captivity? She was kept in a camp. She really like. I mean, I'm not gonna try to roleplay this out. I'm just gonna show. She was kept in a camp, about a day's journey east of the fort, basically in the Rushlands. Or yeah, basically like in the desert among a bunch of bandits and Lycelots that were there. Morta
How
didn't
many?
show up. I mean, the numbers varied because people came in and about. There were about 7 bandits in the camp, and about the Lycelots would come in groups of 4. Typically 3 regular-sized ones and 1 sort of larger one, like a large brute. And she
And
was kept.
they were under the power of this witch.
They all seemed well. They all. She wasn't. She had a hard time. She couldn't overhear too much. They had her in a cage. They actually had her like in a physical cage with like a heavy drape over it, so that kind of muffled a lot what they were saying. But she didn't hear the witch. I don't think the witch lady that we're calling her now didn't appear to be in the camp until it was time for her to basically get dragged around, and it was only like basically at the last moment that she was getting tossed over the. When she was right before she got dangled over the wall, that she was able to snag the journal from her person. So, yeah, beyond that, no, she doesn't have anything additional.
Oh, that's
to tell
good
you.
information. I didn't realize she lifted the journal from Morta.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that. She handed
So yeah,
it to us.
that's all she's got for you.
All right, so at least it corroborated everything I said for Congdon, who trusts her.
Yes, that's accurate. Let's see.
So now I go and I relay all this information to the rest of the party.
Well, okay, we'll get there. So, all right, you're coming out of the tower. So actually, we'll say this: as you are walking out of the tower, you come across this elf lady, which has these 2 people in tow. And we're going to pause all of that and go back to Babbage and his new friend.
So yeah, he's pointing at the dwarf there.
Yes.
So I walk over to Grimbeard and I say, "Morning, Grimbeard. Enjoying the cake?"
He's got like, he doesn't have cake on him, but you have like, he's clearly got bits of it in his beard, and he does not seem to care. He kind of looks at you, looks at the Dinglebot, sort of
It's
kneels.
just Dingbot.
Sorry,
It's just
Dingbot.
Dingbot.
Yeah, my bad. Dingbot, him, whatever we're calling it. He notices the bot. Kneels. Oh, it's on your shoulder.
Yeah.
Kind of looks at it questioningly, like brings his non-mechanical arm up to like your shoulder to like this. To which point the Dingbot points at the other arm.
Don't be rude, him.
Yeah, Grimbeard tilts slightly, switches arms,
Okay.
And then yeah, he hops off, and then he's got he's holding him up, and Dingbot tries to start pulling at his thumb.
Oh no! I'm sorry. I didn't realize. I told you no. That's rude. That's part of him. You can't have that. No. Sorry.
He nods.
He's still
He smiles, but just nods.
he's still
He has yet to say a word, by the way.
he's still new. He's still new. Though he does bring up a good point. I would love to, if you don't consider it rude, learn more about how you were able to create such a auto mail contraption.
I shop. And with that, he starts walking.
I'll follow.
All right, you end up over at 8. Okay, you two are going to end up over there. We'll come back to you. All right, so you, Canadin, and Mercury end up in front of Bellarmine. Bellarmine walks up to you and then chooses to relay the information. Yes.
Yes.
So unless you want to roleplay this out, you can simply say that you heard everything I just talked about in the room.
I'll take the shortcut.
Okay. So verbatim, Bellarmine explains everything that I did to him with what Cognan said.
I mean, if any one of us could, it would be the knowledge cleric.
Yes, it would be. So you all now have all the information that you had that Cognan gave him.
And I'm particularly interested in what Babbage has to say because sometimes he has a different perspective.
The elf walks up to you, blessed Bellarmine, brings out her hand to shake yours.
And I say, no. I'm a cleric. I can't touch anyone.
With that, she steps back and just bows gently.
And I bow back.
Okay. My name is Mercury, and you are more than welcome to take advantage of my particular skills of enchantment, if you so desire. I'm bringing your other 2 compatriots over to my shop, if you are curious as to my wares, or my skills, and with that, walking over. Okay.
And I, before she leaves, I say, "Can you summarize what those, what the width and breadth of those skills are?"
Oh, I am able to enchant certain items, specifically. Here we go. Oh man, I have to remember. I did this so long ago. She had. I have 6 different enchantments that I can add to particular items, and you gotta give me a minute.
And is it possible for me to hand the amulet of the devout, the 2 war hammers, and the holy symbol, and get them enchanted?
I can enchant 1 item of yours. Allow me to.
I'm gonna guess not the amulet, Dad. Typically, if something's already magical, you can't make it magical again.
Hold on.
But we'll see what he says.
Where?
I'm gonna guess it's a bunch of +1 to weapon, or adds cold damage, or +1 to armor class type enchantments. That would be my assumption.
Give me.
Could be more exciting. Mike's pretty good at this stuff.
I have a very specific. Where did I?
What
You trying to
kind
share a handout that you can't find?
what kind of things can you enchant?
Essentially.
He has all it written down. He's trying to find it.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember where I put. Did I have it? Maybe I did. Hold on. No. Here? Here we go. There's a little bit of reading here.
You put all the text in the GM notes. We can't see any bit of it.
Yes, I did. All right, stand by. Okay.
You just edit, copy, paste.
Oh, thank you. Yes. I apologize. This is going to be a wall of text. We do not have to do this now, but basically over time she explains this.
There we go.
Sweet.
Can see.
I love it. I haven't even read it all, and I'm already a fan. Just the depth that you've
It's
put into each of
all. I think it's all weapon enchantments.
these. That is the title of the handout.
Oh,
you can
yeah.
only do, and you can only do one weapon. You said?
One weapon per person. But if it is a magical weapon, she can still enchant it and make it even more magical.
Oh, sweet.
Yes, that is not.
But it's
overrated.
got to be a weapon.
Yes, you each can pick one of those as you see fit.
It's so cool. I can't wait to read through all these.
What's the one-handed warhammer? Which one is it? The top one or the bottom one?
It's the same weapon. It's just whether you're wielding it one or
I
handed
see.
or two-handed.
So I'm gonna say, can you enchant the warhammer with all those enchantments?
I can do one enchantment if you are able to. Okay, so hold on.
I thought you said you could do 6, but only on one weapon.
Hold on.
You can choose from the 6.
Man, greedy cleric.
Greedy gums over here.
I pay attention.
I want all of it.
Okay. Babbage isn't here, but okay. So she brings you into her humble abode. Oh, do I have? Wait. Can you hold on? Oh, I do have. All right, we're just gonna. What? Why not? Okay.
Inexorable seems OP.
I have to remember what they all do.
But I think it's phenomenal.
Give me a moment.
Advantage on damage rolls.
Yeah, essentially.
That's cool.
It's been. I did this months ago now. No. What? What do you? Dang it. What? Why are you? Oh, Control L. That is not doing what I want it to do. None of you can see inside the house, can you?
Yes.
Oh, you
Yeah.
can.
I can.
All right, never mind. Okay, so, I mean, basically, she brings you inside, and she asks for whatever one item you choose to do. This is a time-consuming endeavor. However, it is going to take me, especially if there's 3 of you, it's going to take me at least 24 hours to enchant all of your items. So I'm going to have to borrow your items for a day.
Suppose we can find things to do around town.
So yeah, if you would mind. So let's see. What is everybody? Okay, so yeah, I assume. All right, so Bellarmine's giving his warhammer.
Yes.
Candidate, are you giving her your spear?
I am giving him a spear.
All right, and then you.
It's a little tricky for me because I mean I have a quarterstaff, but I'm actually trying to play this as a basically like if I'm doing damage, it's through spells. I'm not ever trying to.
Well, not all these
Melee?
weapons augment your attack output.
Yeah, one of them
Yeah,
makes you
read what
move
they all
more.
do. Yeah.
One of them gives you more movement. Like they're not all.
Right. But the thing is, you have to be wielding it, and I'm generally not. I don't have the quarterstaff because in one hand I have a wooden shield, and the other hand is my spell focus.
I will allow. Depending on which one you want to use, I can add it. I can make the shield work.
Okay. So it's going to be the shield. I just don't know yet.
Okay.
Well, for the record, these are really
Yeah, these are cool enchantments, man.
I had
Very
all
cool.
this stuff in this town, and you all were like, "No, we're just gonna run around and do." Anyway, and you haven't even been to the herbalist yet. And
We're problem solvers.
you've also forgotten about the tattooist. But moving on.
I haven't forgotten about anything. We've only been playing this
who's-
campaign 12 episodes.
Fair enough. Okay, so while you're all doing that, where did I put? Okay.
What's the illumination provided by a torch? 20 feet normal, another 20 feet dim, something like
I
that.
believe. I'd have to look that up, but I'm sure Google can answer that question.
You can find most of these things in Roll20, Jeff. Just go to the compendium, search torch, and you can see that its range is 20/40.
I figured I knew the range.
It's 20 feet of bright light, 40 feet of dim light beyond.
So,
I'm sorry. That's its attack range. That's not its light emission.
so Babbage, Grimbeard walks you into his. I believe you should be in the blacksmith now.
It's 20 and 20. Yeah, I can see. No, I'm sorry. Oh yeah, I see something. What do I see? Okay, I'm in the shop with him.
Yeah, so you're in a shop. I mean, it's you walk in. It's like he has like an open building room sort of here. I mean, you can see it's. I mean, you've got a smelter and there's like a small little well here. But he basically like he steps through this door briefly, comes back out, and then hands you a manual.
Ooh.
And the long and short of it.
The what?
Long and short of it.
Oh, the long and short of it. Okay.
What did you? Never mind. I don't want to know.
Continue.
I'll have to go back and listen to my own recording to figure out what I accidentally said.
Please proceed.
He is a. I don't know how to explain this better than just telling you to look it up. He is a armor artificer. Armorer
Okay.
artificer.
Yep.
So like through and he doesn't. I mean, he in like single words, he basically explains that he uses sort of magic similar to your form of tinkering to be able to make armor. It's just like so like he actually like he you see him sort of like mumble something and make a motion, and there is a helmet. Oh, that is not what I wanted to do. Stand by. Nah. You did the wrong layer.
Oh, I see it.
A helmet that was actually like sitting on the shelf with that has like wings in its design. Actually, like the wings start to fly, like flap, and it like flies over and like plants it on his head. And like some other armor, like basically he has like another like pouch on his arm that he basically like attaches, and then it like extends. He basically both of his arms become metallic.
That's so cool.
So that, in a nutshell, because I don't want to try to roleplay all this out. It's getting late. I'm getting tired. Is what that is. So, what do you? So yeah, that's. I mean, you've got a. He basically like handed you a manual and said you can borrow it about how all that works.
Well, thank you. I'll definitely do so.
And okay, where are you gonna head to at this point? Or are you just gonna sit there and read for a bit?
Well, I'm going to ask him. Provided I'm able to acquire materials, in speaking with Tag, would you allow me the use of your shop and your forge and stuff in need be? Is that I'll take that as a yes. Well, this is phenomenal. What a wonderful workspace. I may move out of Cognan's basement.
Just slowly squatting at different people's houses. All right.
Yeah, so that's great. I will thank him. I will take the journal and add it to my inventory.
Good.
And my next goal was going to be to catch up with the storage room at Tag.
Okay. I'm gonna pause us. So you're gonna be. Oh wait, I gotta switch maps. I'll put you back on the main map. Party is split. It's difficult to do. So yeah, I mean you can see on the map she's here. So okay. It is 11:45, so I'm gonna pause us here for now.
Sure.
You've all got. I mean, the three of you know about the weapon. I mean, you don't even know about the enchantments yet, or at least Babbage doesn't. I know Jeff or Jim.
Yeah.
So we'll work through that next time. Does anybody have any questions, thoughts, concerns before we break for the evening?
For inexorable, specifically the text I just pasted,
Stand by.
would it be within the flavor of the enchantment to have it be spell damage instead of weapon damage?
No. Well, actually, hold on. Let me read the. No, that's got to be specific to the implement. I like what you're. I know where you're going, but no, that's got to be specific to the weapon.
And that would be bananas. Like,
Yeah.
you cast Fireball, but you get advantage on your Fireball damage. It's a lot more than, max rolling your quarterstaff attack.
Just because that seems pretty powerful. Like, is there a cap on how many times you can use them for an inexorable? I'm not sure I'm seeing them.
Didn't appear to be. It
No.
appears, that's why I said it looked OP. It's just you get attack on damage rolls for the weapon, or advantage on damage rolls.
Yep.
Because I would counter argue that the number of spells I can cast at once is the cap to being able to reroll spell damage. Because you have advantage on weapon damage foreseeably ever.
For
for
that particular weapon, yeah. But I mean, the other thing about weapon damage is only like 1 or 2 dice max total. Spell damage attack dice, like you're rolling like 6 or 8 dice. That the fact that you could roll all of those at advantage significantly increases the average you're going to get on that. Versus, I mean, and spells by themselves already do a lot more damage than like a single weapon attack, right? So.
Right, but that's also why you can only cast so many until you need to regain them. It's not like you can keep casting.
Cantrips forever, and those get extra dice as you level up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but compared to weapon damage, they're in line.
Incorrect.
What I'm saying, what I'm telling you is that this is designed for this. These enchantments are designed for weapons. There are other things you have available to you around the place that. I'm not telling this to magic spells. Is what I'm saying.
I gotcha.
At high levels, cantrips do like 5, 6, D6, D8. There's no physical weapon that deals 6d8.
But then you're also comparing it to one weapon attack instead of a character that's using a weapon at that high a level that has multiple attacks per round.
Either way, it's not going to a weapon.
Okay.
All right. So with that, I'm going to say goodnight to the internet.
Yeah, that's cool.
Bye, internet. And we close episode 12.